What about it, YouTube? Check it out. Jesse Ventura added me to their circles. Jesse Ventura. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Jesse Ventura, which I find interesting in regards with myself. Years back, I was part of this, think tank, I guess you'd call it, with Aaron Russo, the late Aaron Russo, that did some interviews with Alex Jones, put out that movie Freedom to Fascism, and Mad as Hell, I think, was another movie he put out, or documentary. And anyway, during this think tank, conference call one night, they were trying to muster up. This is in 2006. They were trying to muster up a quote, liberty-minded candidate. Somebody that would finally represent the people and steer us away from, the whole 9/11 George Bush fascism, as Aaron saw it, that was happening. So, during this discussion that was on a conference call, Aaron said, "Who should we get to run? Who should we try to lobby, or who would we like to see run for president?" And at that moment, Ron Paul was out. Ron Paul had said he wasn't going to try and run anymore, and so that was off the table. Although he was definitely part of the conversation. He was talked about, and it was wished upon at the time by that group that he would run. But anyway, at that moment, Ron Paul had not decided to run and said that he wasn't going to run. And Aaron Russo was trying to find ideas of people that might be good Ron Paul type candidates. Okay, so during this conference call, I spouted up and I said, "What about Jesse Ventura?" And honestly, the reason I said that was I saw him on a Donnie Douchebag, that guy that was on MSNBC, or was he on, I think it was MSNBC, Donnie Deutsch or some shit like that, some pretty boy douchebag. He used to have this show on MSNBC anyway, and this is way back, probably about 2002 or 2003 or some shit. I saw Jesse Ventura tell this Donnie Douchebag that if Hillary Clinton ran for president, that he would run for president. So it was on my mind that, that Jesse Ventura had mentioned something about running for president. He's a Hollywood guy, right? He's a figure, right? And this was going back. This was way before, any of this other stuff with Jesse Ventura cropped up. So I mentioned him, and honestly, Aaron Russo said that he thought he was too much of a clown. This is honestly what he said on the phone. He thought that Jesse Ventura was too much of a joke and a clown for the world to take serious. So he wasn't like a good idea for that. But he, my second guess, just a little caveat, or my second, not guess, but my second idea was Clint Eastwood, and that was something that Aaron Russo really liked, actually. But even back then, Aaron said that Clint was too old to want to run or do something like that. But anyway, then kind of recently, when it comes to me and Jesse Ventura, he was on Abby Martin's show, and I left a comment saying that he was out of his mind, number one, when he said on Abby Martin that there shouldn't be any borders, or like we can just say that there's no borders anymore. Everyone can run where they want to run or whatever, which really starts sounding like anarchy, which really starts sounding like everyone touches weenies for 5 seconds before brutal thugs take over and it becomes a Road Warrior scenario. Okay, so I said he'd lost his mind. Then I also said that both him and Abby Martin had lost their mind as they promote this national sales tax, which is sort of like the fair tax, I suppose, which, and he even talks about how, necessities wouldn't be taxed or whatever, but that's like a rebate program. And how that works is that it's only a certain amount you get allowed per month. So if you go fill the fridge or the freezer full of steaks, you don't get that all tax free. You get a certain amount that's tax free. So that means that they have to monitor all sales. Okay, at the register. Okay, everything you buy will be attached to your name and be recorded because of, quote, tax purposes, right? It's a total invasion of privacy. It would mean everything you buy. Plus, there's another part of it where certain people that fall underneath the poverty line are under a different tax rate or don't have any tax at all or something like that. They can buy anything without having to pay the sales tax. So there's a number of reasons why your name and your purchases will be tied together and monitored and calculated, and that's how you'll be taxed. So it's just the same shit. It's just another tax with another name. This is supposed to, what? Now that you're not taxing your labor, how is it not taxing your labor? You worked for the fucking money that you're spending at the store, right? So a sales tax is just a tax with a different name, whatever. Just another tax. Doesn't solve anything as far as whatever. If you're bitching about the tax system, it doesn't solve anything. Okay, and I mean, why don't we really address the usury and shit to begin with? Why don't we talk about how the magic credit pays for whatever it needs to anyway? But no, we'll just obfuscate and pretend like the solution is another tax with a different name that's even more invasive and affects your privacy. So anyway, that's me with Jesse Ventura saying that he's out of his mind. I mean, I don't mind him running for president. I'm not going to vote for anybody, but anybody that'll sort of upset the status quo and make a scene. I mean, it's good for entertainment purposes, if nothing else. I mean, it's all just made for TV, round and round retard show anyway, right? The presidency. Okay, so that's it. Thanks, Jesse. I'm following you too now, bud. So go get him, killer.